So welcome everyone. We're just slowly getting started. For now, the panelists, honorees, and department chairs will be off video and muted until Dean Mallett starts us in a few minutes.
All right, why don't we get started? I'll introduce myself to people who may not know me. I'm Jennifer Mallett. I am the Dean of the College of Humanities and Sciences, and I welcome you all today to our virtual celebration of the 2020-2021 College of Humanities and Sciences Emeritus Awards. This event recognizes retired faculty who've shown distinguished and exceptional service and outstanding dedication to the university. And I'm really excited today that we will be honoring 5 faculty members. Catherine Bassard from the Department of English, Cliff Edwards from the School of World Studies, Anthony Ellis from the Department of Philosophy, Julie Honold from the Department of Sociology, and Jeff South from the Robertson School of Media and Culture. So now I will turn today's celebration over to Sally Honeycutt, the Area Associate Dean for the Sciences and Mathematics.
Thank you, Dean Mallett. And I also want to welcome everyone. It's with great joy we welcome back our esteemed colleagues and friends for this celebration of our most recently named emeritus faculty. And the Emeritus Award, as you may know, is a really special award, and it is given to faculty members who have truly excelled over the course of their careers as professors. They have been wholeheartedly dedicated to their students, their departments, to the College of Humanities and Sciences, and of course to VCU. And they've done that through their groundbreaking research, their stimulating teaching, and their dedicated service. And the 5 faculty we're honoring today, I haven't counted up the years, but it's many decades of service that they represent. So they really are, have been the heart and soul of VCU for several decades. And we really want to thank them for their work. It has been inspiring to us, and we appreciate their service and commitment. We do have a full program today, so we'll get started introducing the honorees. The chair from each honoree's department will introduce the recipient, share a little bit about that person, and then if the honoree is able to attend, they will also have the opportunity to make remarks. So with that said, I'll introduce Dr. Catherine Ingracia, the chair of the Department of English, and she will speak about Catherine Bassard.
Great. Thank you, Sally. Hello, my name is Catherine Ingracia, and I'm the chair of the Department of English. I'm delighted to present this Emerita Award to Dr. Catherine Clay Bassard. The English department was able to lure Kathy away from a tenured position at Berkeley in 1999. And from that moment on, Kathy proved herself the consummate professor and colleague. She's an active scholar, a committed teacher, and a visionary administrator who serves both the faculty and her profession. Kathy's scholarship, focused on African-American literature, is nationally recognized. She's published 2 books, 17 peer-reviewed articles, in addition to giving numerous presentations and keynotes at national and international conferences. The College of Humanities and Sciences recognized her scholarship with its Distinguished Scholar Award in 2016 and the Elska V.P. Smith Distinguished Lecturer Award in 2005. As a teacher and mentor, Kathy made numerous contributions. She created more than 10 new courses in cutting-edge fields such as women writers of the African diaspora, while also teaching more traditional courses such as the Bible as literature. Additionally, she served as a thesis or independent study advisor for more than 20 MA, MFA, and PhD students. She also played an expanding role in administration over the course of her VCU career through her positions as chair of the Department of English, senior associate dean for faculty affairs in the College of Humanities and Sciences, and senior vice provost for faculty affairs. In sum, Kathy embodies the complete package of high achievement in the life of a faculty member. I was fortunate enough to serve on that search committee back in 1999, and then to enjoy Kathy as a valued colleague and friend whose sage advice, spirit of generosity, and good humor benefited individual colleagues and the institution as a whole. As Sally revealed to me this morning, unfortunately, we just found out that due to an illness in her family, Kathy's unable to join us here today. She very much looked forward to this opportunity to connect with her colleagues, former colleagues at VCU. We are sending all positive thoughts to her and well wishes to her and her loved ones, and we celebrate this recognition and her achievements.
Thank you so much, Catherine. And I would just add to that for me personally, I worked with Kathy as a faculty fellow in the provost office, and then worked with her as we transitioned in the College of Humanities and Sciences Dean's office, and I found her to be a gracious mentor and inspiration. And turning my camera back on, if I can get it to come on, it's not turning on. Apologies for that. I will introduce Mark Wood, the director of the School of World Studies, who will speak about Cliff Edwards. And Mark will then introduce Kristen Swenson, who also has prepared marks for Dr. Edwards.
Thank you so much, Sally. Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Wood, and I serve as the director of the School of World Studies. I'm happy to present this Emeritus Award to Cliff Edwards. Cliff began his career at VCU in 1975, and over the past 45 years, he has written or edited as sole author 8 books and has contributed numerous book chapters, encyclopedia and dictionary entries, and peer-reviewed journal publications. His study of religion and spirituality and the work of Vincent van Gogh is lauded nationally and internationally for its quality, creativity, and illumination of dimensions and connections between the visual arts, philosophy, and everyday experience. In addition to his scholarly productivity, Cliff was an engaging and inspiring teacher to literally thousands of students. Over the years, I've had scores of people tell me they took a course with Dr. Edwards and it changed the way they see the world and how they live in relationship to the world. His work has contributed much to shaping our cultural and intellectual landscape at VCU and beyond. Dr. Edwards was responsible for creating the Bachelor of Arts in Religious Studies at VCU. In addition to the students he taught here, he also taught at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts, the VCU Nursing and Medical Schools, at Union Theological Seminary, and gave numerous courses and lectures to members of the Richmond community. His value and effectiveness as a teacher were recognized with all the teaching awards that VCU offers, including the Outstanding Teaching Award, and he was elected as VCU Board of Visitors Teaching Fellow. Cliff served the School of World Studies, the College of Humanities and Sciences, and VCU in numerous capacities. One outstanding example is his successful effort to develop and oversee the Powell Edwards Endowed Fund for Religion and the Arts, which now contributes importantly to the life of the arts at VCU and in the city of Richmond. It was no surprise when Cliff was recognized in 1995 with the Chev Outstanding Faculty Award, which requires excellence in scholarship, teaching, and service. And in 2016, VCU selected Cliff for one of its highest awards, the VCU Presidential Medallion of Excellence. On a personal note, I have been guided and deeply influenced by Cliff over the years, ever since he picked me up in his well-driven red Honda at Linden Row for my interview here at VCU in 1997. His dedication to teaching, scholarship, service to our community, and clearly articulated and robust support for the value of liberal arts education have been and continue to be an inspiration for me, and I know many others. We have had many conversations along the way in his office at Harrison Street Cafe or at Starbucks in the library, one of Cliff's more recent and favorite hangouts. Whether fortuitous or scheduled, our conversations always led to unexpected places, often lasting for longer than I had planned. I recall meeting at Starbucks a while back, assuming an hour, and almost 3 went by. Just the two of us sharing thoughts and ideas and works about the world. Conversations with Cliff Edwards, as many of you know, were like a deep dive in the midst of the rush, like clearing a space amidst the buzzing noise to wonder and follow various threads of thought. In this way, our conversations might be compared to what is called revelation, a sudden break in the normal flow of things. Time crushed, the sense of always having to get more done and never having enough time to do so. But those moments, of which there were many, were and are liberatory. It's important to clear space to think and to imagine and to wonder about the world, to be in conversation with the rich history of thinkers who did the same and whose works we read and ponder today. Time to think things through. There is an art to thinking, and Cliff Edwards reminds us all of this, faculty and thousands of students along the way, of why it matters more than anything to clear a space to wonder, to notice, to consider, and to be inspired to see things differently, to see things anew, which of course we always need, and perhaps today more than ever. So thank you, Cliff, for this and your other gifts, your marvelous works of scholarship, your illuminating lectures, and your art, which brightens buildings around VCU. In all of this, you help us to focus our attention on what matters. And for this, we are most grateful. I now want to introduce my dear friend and colleague, Kristen Swenson, author and affiliate faculty member in the Religious Studies program. And also, I want to note, most recently, the author of a book called A Most Peculiar Book, The Inherent Strangeness of the Bible on Oxford University Press. Pick up a copy at Chop Suey today. To say a few words as well about Cliff Edwards. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mark, and thanks to you all for this wonderful invitation to talk just a little bit out of my personal experience about Cliff. Oh my goodness. I am thrilled that we have the photo that we do of Cliff in his office, because that office was a kind of cabinet of curiosities for people. Anyone who ventured in felt that air saturated with imagination and possibility. Cliff embodied what I think we imagine as the sort of the ideal of the college experience, wherein you could spend time, again, like Mark said, time that was unclocked with some of the most interesting people in conversations about any topic of special interest. Cliff made that possible, and in that space of his office, students, faculty came and went at will, Cliff welcoming each and all. I remember him hosting tea times. This actually was something that students initiated, but he made it possible for them to gather in his office for tea. And at that tea, they would discuss whatever it was that they had in mind, whatever it was that they may have been thinking about and learning about. And Cliff would sometimes be there and sometimes turn the space over to students. Students were at the center of Cliff's work, always. Anyone who participated in committee meetings with Cliff in deciding how we might shape a curriculum, for instance, knew that he always brought it back to the students. I think of Cliff's influence as of the most enduring kind, because he cut to the center of things. He has a way of getting immediately to the heart of a thing, and then the wisdom becomes immediately apparent and accessible to others. I joined the faculty at VCU a full 1 week before Mark, but I was still a doctoral candidate. I thought I was just going to visit for a time, and I remember being so nervous about teaching and preparing for my classes. And Cliff said to me, well, the most important things are to show up and show up on time. And I have thought about that, obviously, over the years. It has stayed with me to show up and to show up on time. That's the way that Cliff lived and worked. He was present there. When he was in a place, he was in that place, and all of him was in engagement with those present, and he was on time with his attention. It was a wonderful model, and I hope that I can continue to internalize that and live that out. Cliff also had, as Mark said, this amazing research agenda and productivity. I'm actually looking right now at one of his most recent book. This was just published last year. It's a kind of workbook, if you will, following Vincent van Gogh's excerpts of his letters that Cliff describes in some detail, and then helps readers to think about what lessons we might gain from those. This again is one of the enduring influences of Cliff, is the invitation to imagination, to a constant growth and development as full human beings, as well as, of course, intellectually. And the rigor of his research is, of course, something that we will benefit from for many, many years to come. Also, I think about his invitation to write haiku. So I come rather late to the haiku game, but it is such an enduring influence that this year, 2021, I decided that I would write a haiku a day. It's my Haiku 365 project, and it has been one of the most anchoring experiences. And again, to that, I owe Cliff's inspiration and great friendship. So I am sorry not to be gathering all together in person to celebrate these fantastic colleagues of ours, but I know that you would join me in extending our heartfelt appreciation for their service, their teaching, of which we also are recipients, and great friendship. Thanks again for letting me share some of my recollections of Cliff. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Kristen. And also thank you, Mark. And again, just my apologies, my camera is not turning on, although it did at the beginning. So I will continue now by introducing Donald Smith. Donald is the chair of the Department of Philosophy, and he has some few words to say about Anthony Ellis, another one of our honorees.
Greetings. My name is Donald Smith. I'm the chair of the Department of Philosophy. I'm pleased to present this Emeritus Award to my colleague, Anthony Ellis. Tony came to VCU from the University of St. Andrews in 1990. Over the years, he has written or edited, as sole author or editor, 3 books, 15 peer-reviewed papers, 8 chapters, numerous dictionary entries, and 8 reviews. His work on the ethics of punishment places him in high demand as a speaker locally, nationally, and internationally. In addition to his scholarly productivity, Tony is an engaging and inspiring teacher. He developed a philosophy and law concentration within the philosophy department. He expanded the department from 5 full-time faculty to 10, and he has helped the department grow from about 30 to over 100 majors in the last 15 years. Finally, Tony is perhaps the longest serving department chair in VCU's College of Humanities and Sciences. He became chair in 2000, and as chair, he fostered an environment in the department where we philosophy faculty can freely pursue excellence in scholarship, teaching, and service. On a personal note, and I can say this because Tony is not here, he would be embarrassed if he were, but I can say that not only is Tony, the chair than none which greater can be conceived. He became and remains a dear friend of mine. I'll miss him, we'll all miss him, and we look forward to seeing him in and around the department as much as possible. Congratulations, Tony, on your well-deserved Emeritus Award.
Thank you very much, Donald. We appreciate those marks, and as you said, we'll all miss his presence, particularly at those chairs meetings. Next, I'd like to introduce Jennifer Johnson. Dr. Johnson is the chair of the Department of Sociology, and she will share some words about Professor Julie Honnold, who will then have her own words to share with us.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer Johnson, and I'm the chair of the Department of Sociology, and I'm very pleased to present this Emerit Award to Dr. Julie Honnold. Julie's career at VCU spans 46 years, or is it 47? Julie will have to answer that. And she has a sustained record of excellence in teaching, scholarship, and service across these full 46 years. As a teacher, she taught numerous courses at the undergraduate and graduate levels, developing 9 new courses and teaching quantitative methods to almost every graduate student that ever passed through the Department of Sociology, including myself. One teaching highlight is her partnership with colleagues in the Department of Sociology to develop 2 new online master's programs, one of which has grown into the Digital Sociology Master's Program, which is the only one of its kind in the country. Despite this heavy service load, Julie has published papers in peer-reviewed journals or written reports for numerous organizations for her entire career. Her papers and presentations are listed on 9 pages of her CV. One laudable characteristic of her scholarship is that it is highly collaborative. She has co-authored papers with colleagues in sociology, psychology, the Wilder School, the Survey Evaluation and Research Lab, among many others. Julie's service to VCU is particularly noteworthy. It is difficult to overstate the importance and impact of her service to the department, the college, and the university. She was nominated 3 times for the Excellence in Service Award at the College of Humanities and Sciences. The Department of Sociology underwent several changes in the last 20 years. After moving into the Wilder School and then back into the college, the number of sociology students dropped to a low in 2011. However, through Julie's steadfast leadership in the department, there are now nearly twice as many of students, even in a time of overall declining enrollments. Much of that growth is due to the tireless service work of Julie, who, as the associate chair, oversaw the recruitment, hiring, and eventual review and tenure process for 9 new faculty members. She served on several college committees, and she was a founding member of the Survey, Evaluation, and Research Lab, which we now call SERL. On a personal note, I describe and consider Julie to be a quiet storm. She has led the department through many years of change, challenge, and growth, and she did it through her quiet yet sage presence. She has touched almost every aspect of the education of all graduate students, of every faculty member, and of the entire culture of the department. She has taught methods to almost all graduate students who have moved through the department to date, including myself. She has sat on the hiring committees of almost all sociology faculty to date, including myself. She has reviewed and promoted almost every faculty member to date, including myself. She was the chair of my hiring committee. She was my mentor, and she was my friend. And yet she's done all this invisible yet essential service with humility, grace, and kindness. Julie truly leads from the back, guiding us like a rudder, and we will miss her sage advice that we still reference in almost every faculty member, the most famous of which, of course, is that the unit of analysis is the department. I say that every day. And we still look to her as the most trusted advisor for the history of the department. She still volunteers to provide support. She joins us at faculty meetings, and she provides her gentle guidance when necessary. And even more personally, she has been an amazing friend to me and to many of us in the department. She and her loving and very funny wife, Jane, have hosted many holiday parties on their back deck, each of which are done because they love the department, they love VCU, and they are generous with their time, their support, and their love. We will miss Julie very, very much, and are still grateful that she joins us for our faculty meetings. Julie, we love you. We will miss you, and thank you for everything that you have done for the Department of Sociology at VCU and for me and for your colleagues. We love you. That's it.
Is it my turn now?
Yes, it's your turn.
Okay, that is one hard act to follow. I don't think I'm going to try to compete with that. But thanks, Jennifer, for your kind remarks. And I'll thank you more later when we can get together for some libation. There's that. Yeah, it's 46 years full time, but you did say 47 at one point, and probably that's because I'm an adjunct this semester teaching a class. Jennifer noted that my career at VCU, well, at least in the draft that I read, I don't know if you've actually said this, but anyway, has spanned 5 decades. That's certainly true. And when you're in one place that long, there just aren't that many people left in the end who can question your view of history. So I'm going to say a few words about that. That was my favorite subject in college, by the way. No, I didn't major in it, but political science, history, what the heck. A lot about VCU has changed during that time period. You all, I'm sure, know about many manifestations of that at the university level. So I'm just going to talk about my personal experience a little bit. When I came in 1974, I was one of the 3 female assistant professors hired that year. As far as I know, we were the first women to be hired into the VCU sociology faculty, though one was an anthropologist, 2 of us were sociology. That was a combined department then and for many years thereafter. The university, of course, had only been created 6 years earlier in 1968. So I wasn't quite in on the ground floor, but we came pretty close to that. The 2 other women left before 1980, which made me the first woman, but not the last, to be tenured in the sociology department. Aside from the demographic composition, the culture of the department then was very different than it is now. The main goal of every faculty member, which I remember well, was to become sufficiently well published and well known in their subfield so as to be able to leave VCU for a more prestigious university. That was the goal. And what counted most toward tenure, promotion, and salary was the number of sole authored, which I emphasize that, sole authored publications in respectable outlets. Also, faculty members were interested only in their work, that's air quotes, by which they meant scholarship, and were expected to do their level best to avoid spending time on teaching and service. I am not kidding, that was the ethos at that time. It was, of course, except for the 3 of us, an all-male department. But I think that was academia at that time as well. And I was not pleased with that environment. So after tenure in the early 80s, I partially escaped sociology by becoming a half-time faculty associate in the survey and evaluation research laboratory. My main office was in Searle for about 20 years, and I rarely came to sociology except for faculty meetings, which I confess I have a thing about attending. I don't remember ever missing one. I don't know why. Folks at the lab actually talked to one another and worked together, blending sound research principles with contract service work for local and state agencies and nonprofit organizations, and also for federal agencies such as CDC and HHS. Much of our work during that period revolved around HIV and AIDS healthcare issues. I learned a lot about practical applications of research methodology and data analysis, and try to convey that to students, and greatly enjoyed my time at Searle. I returned to sociology just before the department moved with the college into the Wilder School in about 2006. The next few years were frankly quite difficult, since we were very low on the power totem pole in the school. Sociology remained in the college when the Wilder School left in about 2013, but at that time, as Jennifer pointed out, we had relatively few majors and only 3 full-time faculty members. Jennifer and I were 2 of them. Susan Bodner-Daring was the 3rd. But she, of course, was untenured at that time. Since then, I have had the opportunity to work with others toward building a strong, intellectually vibrant public sociology department, pretty much from the ground up. I worked most closely with Jennifer in those efforts, but also with all current sociology faculty members. I am pleased to say that there is now support in the department for collaborative work. Who knew that was going to happen? Blending research, teaching, and service components. And yes, there are now more than 3 full-time female faculty members. In the current version of the sociology department, though members have different perspectives, there has been considerable camaraderie, both in the form of sociability and the perception that our work makes a contribution toward a shared goal. And through all this, I have managed to avoid sharing the department. Though I have had a chance to do so at 3 different times during my career. However, I recognize that that is one of the hardest and least appreciated jobs in all of academia. And I just didn't know it, frankly, I didn't know if I could really do it as well as I thought I should be able to do it. So I would like to thank Jennifer Johnson for taking that job instead and performing it so well, of course, and allowing me to play around with department building without assuming the trials and tribulations of that position. And yes, I will probably continue showing up at faculty meetings. So watch out. In closing, I would just like to thank members of the college, the sociology department, and Searle for the difference they've made in my life and the lives of so many others. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Julie, for those inspiring remarks. And next, I'd like to introduce Marcus Messner, the director of the Robertson School of Media and Culture. And the Area Associate Dean for Area A, the Humanities and Social Sciences, who will speak about Jeff South and then introduce him for his remarks.
Thank you, Sally. My name is Marcus Messner, and I'm the director of the Robertson School of Media and Culture and the Area Associate Dean for the Humanities and Social Sciences. And I'm very pleased to present this Emeritus Award to my dear colleague, Jeff South. Jeff came to VCU in 1997 after an already accomplished career as a journalist, and he often called his career here at VCU his second career as a recovering journalist. And his career here was exemplified by all that represents excellence as a faculty member. His teaching was outstanding, as signified by teaching awards from the College of Humanities and Sciences in 2004, by VCU in 2008, by Fudan University in China in 2016, and by the Society of Professional Journalists also in 2016. Of special note is Jeff's work in transforming VCU's Capital News Service into a nationally recognized award-winning student newsroom. Thanks to Jeff, CNS stories are now carried by the Associated Press, publishing our students around the country in reputable news organizations like the Washington Post and USA Today. And before Jeff decided to retire last year, he made sure that he worked closely with his successors running Capital News Service, and thereby helping us to maintain his legacy after his retirement. Jeff's scholarship and teaching are highly integrated. His students, both undergraduates and graduates, have won numerous awards for their work in photography and breaking in-depth general and feature news reporting. And they work in media organizations across the country. It would probably be hard for Jeff to visit any newsroom here in Virginia and not meet one of his students working there. Jeff also has a lengthy and sustained record of articles in both scholarly and media publications, and he regularly gives presentations and serves on panels. Jeff has also served VCU by being a significant contributor to numerous committees at the school, college, and university levels. In addition, he has served the larger community by actively participating in professional journalism organizations, including as president of the Society of Professional Journalists here in Virginia. Personally, I would like to thank Jeff for his mentorship for the many junior colleagues at the Robertson School, including myself when I started here. And I had to smile a little bit when Mark talked about how he met Cliff at the Linden Row Hotel. That's how I met Jeff, who picked me up there when I interviewed for a job at VCU many years ago. Jeff set many examples in the Robertson School. By his hard work, he was often the first to come to the building and the last to leave. By his passion for the importance of high quality journalism and for a free and independent press. And by his unrivaled compassion for his students and for making them succeed in the journalism profession. Thank you, Jeff, for everything that you have done for the Robertson School and for your students. And congratulations from all of us here at the Robertson School on this well-deserved award. And with that, I invite Jeff to speak a few words.
Well, thank you so much, Marcus, for those generous remarks. I wish we had put you up at the Jefferson. You deserved that. I do have a couple of short remarks. And you might be familiar with the movie Spotlight, about the investigative team at the Boston Globe newspaper that exposed the child sex abuse scandal in the Catholic Church under the direction of a new editor, Marty Barron. Early on in that movie, there's a scene from a retirement party for a reporter who is leaving the newspaper right before Barron comes aboard. At the party, a colleague asks the retiring reporter jokingly, "What do you know that we don't?" Well, that scene played out in my head after I put in my retirement notice with VCU in late 2019. And then COVID-19 upended all of our lives and our students' lives and our teaching a few months later. I had done a Fulbright and taught several summers in China, ground zero for the coronavirus. As the pandemic lockdown took hold, some of my colleagues jokingly asked me about my retirement. Did you know something was coming? Well, for the record, I didn't have any inside information about how disruptive COVID-19 would be. It simply felt like an opportune time for me to retire. But I have great admiration for all of the work that my VCU colleagues continue to do every day, teaching and mentoring students in the face of the prolonged coronavirus pandemic. Let's hope that with the vaccine rollout, there's light or a needle at the end of the tunnel. After his stint at the Boston Globe, Marty Barron became editor of the Washington Post, where he led the paper's coverage of Donald Trump, COVID, and other big stories. But at the end of February, just 3 weeks ago, he retired too. So I feel like I'm in good company in retirement. I leave knowing that nobody is indispensable, that institutions are resilient, and that the people we leave in place, like my VCU colleagues, are dedicated to the task. So thank you for the honor of working at VCU and for being named an emeritus faculty member.
Thank you, Jeff. And thanks to everyone who has attended. We have a lot of people here in the audience, and you know, it's great to see everyone here to recognize our impressive faculty. I feel like their accomplishments push us all to measure up to the example that they have set for us. And yes, this has been a wonderful celebration. So thank you to all of our honorees. And for people in attendance, if you want to put comments in the chat, you can do that. The panelists can see them, and we welcome your comments. And thank you all again. What a wonderful reflection this was, and the wonderful contributions of our faculty. Thank you.